Hello and welcome to a rant video. Today I will be ranting about Mannpower and Passtime and the problems that come with these two game modes. And also we have alternative, which is just a list of failed game types. So let's just go into the game here. This is a post commentary, so this isn't live. I mean, it's live when I'm talking, but this is on a Mannpower on a map that Mannpower designed, right? So, this pyro won't die. Right, I fired tons of rockets in him, and I am dead. Oh, he had the power-up regeneration thing. Well, what does the TF2 commentary has to say about HUDs or like elements above your head that doesn't necessarily make sense the first time you see it?
We tried to avoid attaching 2D elements to the HUD as much as possible, since we wanted players to be looking at the 3D world we'd built rather than some abstract representation. For example, players always see their own team's spies as a spy, but they need to know how that spy is disguised to the other team. We first tried a quick hack where we put an icon representing the spy's current disguise, floating above his head. This icon proved baffling to playtesters. When we tackled the problem by putting cutout paper masks on the spy, it not only fit the humorous style of the game, it let players get all the pertinent information directly from a quick look at the spy's model, thus keeping them focused on the characters and on the action of the game. We took this as a lesson in how holding ourselves to a strong design principle can often force us to come up with better solutions than if we'd taken the easy route.
Come on, game designers, get with it. Basically, like here, we have like a contradiction between what the original creators of TF2 decided was a good design principle compared to the people that are currently developing it. And from what it seems, it's not the same kind of people, because in the past, like you just saw in the clip, this was like for the spy that figured out, hey, if you put icons above people's head, that's not really good, right? The only really icon you can have above people's head are if they need a medic, essentially. And also the fact that like you have a skull above their head means that they take more damage. Not necessarily the best, but so some are more acceptable than others. But having like a game mode built around like power-ups that you don't know what are and having them above head is like directly against your old principles. So yeah, that's like my big problem there. Like it fails with the continuity of which it had in the past. So they're saying one thing in the past and they change it. Of course, that's fine. But also the fact that this is just completely broken. I mean, I've survived so long with this health. And like, I don't know what that pyro is. Suddenly I'm bleeding, like there's icons down in the corner to signalize what I'm doing, but I'm being hurt and healed at the same time. And I don't, like, is this a bug? Is this normal? How long is this gonna last? Okay, so the pyro's behind me. I don't know what that is. He seems to be having like some kind of like some barrier on him. But we kill him regardless. I'm still not sure what that is. So yeah. Speaking of grappling hooks does not belong in TF2 at all, because the 9 classes have very specific playstyles and the way they move, but here you have a unified weapon of where everybody just moves with grappling hooks. So there's no real reason to rocket jump, but if there's no reason to rocket jump, there's no real reason to play soldier, because you can't utilize rocket jumps to gain height advantage. Everybody can get height advantage just by looking at the part where they want to go and just going there, like pressing a button. Like as a heavy, I have the mobility of more than a soldier, which is pretty dumb considering we have 9 classes that work the way they do. So the grappling hook mechanic is a bad one, and it's like probably like it's the coolest and the worst thing about Mannpower, because it just doesn't work. Like, yeah, it's cool to do that, but in the long run, it's only capture the flag, and capture the flag is also a flawed game mode because you have to get past the enemy spawn. So this is what I mean by like going with the heavy, right? You can see how fast I'm moving around the map. Everybody can do this, so like, well, if everybody has it, it has to be balanced, right? Yeah, but TF2 is extremely well balanced in the 9 classes and what they can do, and if you just add another element, like suddenly everybody can fly, well, okay, there's no reason to rocket jump or sticky jump anymore, or wrangle jump, or use the quick fix or anything, because you can just follow your target by just doing that. So here we have another like symbol or example of like, I don't necessarily know. Okay, so I guess that guy has medals. There's a heavy, and the spy has like an icon over their heads. Like, we're not sure. Nobody's playing medic. Everybody's like sniper and spy, because nobody nobody that knows what they're doing plays this game mode because it's awful, for that fact. And the main reason why captured flag doesn't work is because you have to get past the enemy spawn. And by design, if you have to get past the enemy spawn, where the enemy is coming out of, you will always be spread thin and you will always be in the minority, and you will never ever win if the enemy team knows what they're doing. So that's why capture the flag is very little played in competitive, and also in like or mostly by pubs or server owners that usually like capture flags, usually for new players that just want to play and don't really do the objective. Because also what this is a good way to decide if a map or a game mode is good or not is how well can a friendly teammate sabotage the game. So one of the problems that was with Doomsday is that you have only one intel. So that means someone can grab the intel and just hold on to it and never let go, and the round will never end. So I thought like, well, I'm gonna try that here. As a heavy, just use this, and you can see I'm just jumping around into this lava. This isn't especially fun either, because it's not a very satisfying mechanic. It's just like, I just get dragged towards wherever it is. It doesn't feel like I have any force. I can go infinite ranges. I mean, maybe if they made the grappling hooks different for each class, so they have like, the heavies grappling hook have like a heavy feel, and like the spies were invisible or something like that. Maybe, but right now using the same for every class is just stupid. Why don't you just have one class, like the Merc, like this guy, and do like all the stuff with him, because then everybody's the same if everybody's the one class. So that's my gripes with it. So here we're just going back, and now I have a timer on me. I don't know what this timer does. Maybe it's a time before he gets returned. I don't know. It doesn't say. I mean, it says I have the briefcase. So yeah, let's do the sabotage thing, right? So I'm gonna do the thing that's like not cap, and let's see if the other team can do anything about it. So we're just gonna hang in the corner, and of course my teammates can't do anything about it because I'm holding the briefcase and I'm standing in a corner. And what is the point of this area of the map? It's like it was intended from a different game, like maybe Quake or something, like Quake, or like maybe Unreal Tournament that had grappling hooks with a mod there, maybe, but not TF2. As you can see, nothing is going on. So that goes on with something else that's with the developer commentary that they aren't really going through, and that is like designing the map properly for the amount of players, because hardly anyone plays this, so there's going to be few players. Oh, the timer went out. I guess I'm a skull now. I guess that means I'm taking more damage because I've seen that symbol before, and that's when I defeat it running urgently. So, how long can I stay here? Well, to be honest, until the end of time, because there's also no map limit on the map. So we just go and capture it. Of course, you play to 7. Of course, you gotta have that insane number. So we've seen the game modes that work, and that is Payload, 5 CP, and King of the Hill, and Attack Defense. Those are the game modes that work the best, because movement is this. Yeah, that's a spy. So that was a bit weird. Because movement on the map should be determined by the map and not the players. So that means there's less abuse. I mean, you can't have a friendly sabotage your payload cart, right? It just doesn't work. If you stand close to the cart, it goes forward. If nobody stands close to it, it doesn't. So, back to Manpower mode. Like, I wasn't sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. He has a king, I guess. And I have probably the most OP one because I get healed. So let's see how long I can stay inside the enemy spawn without dying. That's what was my thoughts here. So now we're in the blue base. We have snipers going around. Also, they didn't figure out a way how to prevent people to spawn camp. So they just added a new feature, which is like, oh, you get Ubered when you spawn, which is stupid, because that's like one of the features for the demo man, is to be able to spawn camp, right? If you fail to defend your spawn, then you deserve to get like mauled by a demo man. But here the map is so designed poorly that like, oh, if you're a demo man, you can just screw spawn camping, like your ability. Just don't do it, because they'll be invulnerable when they spawn for no reason other than the fact that it might have been hard, right? And you can see we're just getting so much health back, and it's not really fun. Like, these players don't know what they're doing. They're getting absolutely destroyed here. And it looks like there's a couple of snipers that might be able to kill me, but I should be dead, which I am, and that took way longer than it should. So yeah, that's my problem with it. Like, the power-ups ruin it, and the grappling hook ruins it, and it's mostly power-up. That's the thing. So let's move on to Passtime, which is even worse. I mean, look at all the stuff that is going to be on the HUD, right? So gates are about to open. And what is this? I mean, look at this down here. There's drops. There's red team. There's my class apparently. Okay, so I have the ball, and I have the ball. So I can throw the ball. Okay, and there's a lot of there's fire. I can see all the classes through the wall.
We tried to avoid attaching 2D elements to the HUD as much as possible, since we wanted players to be looking at the 3D world we'd built rather than some abstract representation.
Well, that's nice. To me, it looks like Passtime is full of that shit. And of course, nobody plays Medic, obviously, but we have so many HUD elements. I mean, I'm not totally on board with adding, like, what is this? Look, what is this? This isn't TF2. TF2 is supposed to be streamlined and nice, and here we have just like giant shields everywhere. That's just like gigantic, and I guess they scored. Okay, so I guess the people who made Passtime does not know much about how TF2 plays, because you have 9 classes that all need to be viable on the same map. Here, you just play Scout or Engineer, or you lose, essentially. I play Heavy because, you know, you just want to shoot people. But ball sports. There's tons of ball sports in the world. And yeah, also, the fuck.
Designing areas for high levels of combat, we try to avoid complexity and chaos. Complex geometry confuses players, making it hard for them to track enemies and interfering with their movement and aiming during combat. The most chaotic combat tends to occur when the size of the room fails to support the number of players fighting in it. In this final area of the map, we wanted a free-form battle to rage for some time before anyone could achieve a decisive victory. To achieve this, we built a wide-open area with several entrances and gave players a variety of attack and defense options at various heights. Rather than depend on elevators and ladders, we relied on ramps, since these allow freedom of movement at all times instead of confining players. Through playtesting, we made many changes to the dimensions of the room, the size of cover elements, and the size of the entrances, thus ensuring the area could accommodate a battle of many players.
I wonder if that's exactly what's going on in Passtime in all of the maps. They are designed as if for a different game. But yeah. So let's bring it back to ball sports, right? There's ball sports in the world, they're super popular, there's tons of them, tons of variations. I was even on the Wikipedia page and the list is long of ball sports. But there is one thing that all of these ball sports have in common, which makes them good and entertaining, and that is that you can always see the ball, and the area of which you play the ball sport is flat. Alright? There is no obstructions, there's not like an obstacle course soccer, or obstacle course football, or rugby, or tennis, or anything like that. It doesn't exist. And you know why it doesn't exist? It's because it's stupid. Like, you need to see all the players, and you need to see the ball, or kind of where the ball is. I mean, if you play hockey, which is listed as a ball sport, you know, you have a puck, and it's like the same principle, you throw it around. You need to be able to see all the players, and where the puck is. And you can kind of see it because people are always shoveling, you can kind of always see, even though like you can't actually see it because they're like holding it, you still know where the puck is, right? But here, you don't. Because there's so much shit in the way, and they're like, oh well, since you can't see them because we made these maps like non-flat, I guess you can just see them through the walls as giant shields. Because that's such a better choice. And also the ball, we highlighted, which is fine. I mean, you highlight the ball so people can easily see the ball. Except when the enemy has it, which is like the most important thing. Like, they obstruct the view so you can't see where the guy who's carrying the ball, other than the HUD thing at the bottom. So they made that flat, but not the map. So it's like, first of all, they don't know how football works, or any kind of ball sport, and they also don't know how to design a map around that sport. Do you know, if I want to play like a ball game, I play Rocket League because they do that really good. And you know why that's good? First of all, they have booster cars, and you can like run around and shoot, and you can jump and do somersault and shit. But it's also fucking flat, and you can see where all the enemies are, or the opposing team, and you can see all your teammates, and you always see where the ball is. Here, you don't. But I can see my teammate, you know, with flags and stuff. So this just goes with like the complexity and like how it just doesn't, it's just like, it's dead on arrival. It's like having poo on your shoe and then you remove some of the poo, but not all of it, so you still have poo on your shoe, right? That's when they're tweaking it. It's just poo on your shoe, but it's less poo. So here we go with like something I didn't know. I was like, okay, is this the goal? Okay, I missed. All right, okay, so I guess I don't shoot there because I missed. So I guess we'll just run into the goal here. Yeah, okay, so that was the goal. Okay, so that's where the goal is. I'm not sure what that other thing was. So I have over 9,000 hours in this game, and I usually pick up on map designs and stuff pretty quickly because here I'm like trying my best to do that. And also as a ball sport, it's weird that they don't reset between every time the ball drops. So there we go. We have a friendly scout here, and of course I'm using the babyface's blaster to run the fastest possible. There's no reason to play anything else because I hardly anyone playing. And now this guy throws it. Like I see that he's trying to throw it there, and I see him throw it. And I'm like, okay, so that was a goal, after all. Okay. And then I look at the bottom. We're like, okay, so that means there's 3 goals. What? Okay, so we have 3 goals. That's fine. And then this guy throws it to him. It's like, all right, I'm going to find the last goal. So you've probably seen it. It's at the top. But I'm not looking at that. I'm like, okay, there's an arrow up. That means it's probably up there. So I'm just going to go on the flank and see. Can I throw it? Nope. Can't throw it. And then you close the goal. Have you ever seen soccer? Like if after you score the first goal, they just close it off. And you're like, you can't score again here. Sorry. It's never. Because it's a dumb, stupid idea and it doesn't work. So then I missed that I had like an outline there. I'm not sure if that was like a bug or anything. So I'm like still just running around like, is it there? Nope, it just bounced right off. Okay. So now I'm running around like an idiot. Like, where do I go and what do I do? And you never, ever want players with that feeling. So I'm kind of like, where do I go? I saw there was an arrow up here and it pointed this way, right? Because other maps, when they point up, they mean up, but not literally like up. So here I have a scout and I'm like, okay, fuck, I gotta take care of this guy. And then he runs into, okay, I can't get it. And it's outside of the bounds. And they don't know that in soccer, if it goes out of bounds, you throw it back in and they still, what? What? So, in order to summarize, it's a glorified capture the flag that is somehow worse than capture the flag but has more features. You have ramps that goes against the general principle of map design, like not these ramps, but like the boosters. You can't always see the ball. The area is not flat. You can't always see the enemies. You can't always see the team. I mean, if it was flat, it would favor snipers. So, in generally, this concept is dead in the water because TF2 is not made for like a lethal sport. It just doesn't work because of the way you have to design the maps. And the maps prevent any kind of ball sport from being good. So this, like, switch the ball for a briefcase, and you can throw the briefcase, and there you go. You have capture the flag. It's not that different. It's not that great. And we have tons of clutter on the screen. It's hard to understand. Like there, I finally see it's like, oh, this, like way up there is the goal. I've never ever experienced that a goal looks like a fucking water tower. How would I ever know? So I'm just gonna be a real Debbie Downer and just tell you the truth. Passtime is dead on arrival. Manpower mode is dead on arrival. Even matchmaking is dead on arrival. It's too little, too late, and it's not close to pub, and TF2 is only good when it's close to pub. That's why the competitive scene never really took off compared to other games, because TF2 is a game that is more fun to play than it is to watch.